going on, everyone?
Welcome in.
We're back.
We're back, and it's October. It's fucking October, guys.
It's
what the fuck?
October. You know what that means? We're getting all nice and fancy with our clothing.
It's like it's our very favorite time of the year, and it's also autumn. So it's all about the vibes. Now, from now on, this is like the best part of the year, I think. What do you think?
we changed it, add some color,
Yeah, we changed
got out of the whole black and white
background.
feel, we're getting into the whole colorful environment.
What's up, guys? Hey, drummer for life, Tommy. How are you? How was your Saturday? Today's Sunday, depending on what part of the world you are in. But
it could
how
be
was
Monday too. I mean, who knows how far into the future you are?
Who's in the future in the chat? I mean, we do have a lot of people from Australia, from Japan, from Germany. We're gonna have a German drummer also this month. It's gonna be amazing. And this week we go to fucking TwitchCon, guys. It's gonna happen
TwitchCon.
this week. I can't believe it.
We got 4 more days, roughly.
4 more days, and we're off
We're
on a
flying
plane.
in the air.
We're gonna meet up a bunch of awesome Twitch streamers, friends, musicians. We're gonna have a lot of our friends performing at TwitchCon, so that's gonna be awesome.
I'm just excited to meet everyone, just to see everyone
And new connections, new people that we're gonna become friends with. Because last time we went, we were like dancing with a few people that ended up becoming our friends. So it's sometimes like that. Hi, everyone from New Zealand. Whoa.
They're in the future.
You're in the future.
Future.
Wow, New Zealand is like the most gorgeous place in the entire world.
Drummer Rick.
What's up, Drummer Rick?
It's not Pickle Rick. It's Drummer Rick.
What's up? It's Pickle Rick.
Welcome.
Welcome in. Thanks so much for the
So yeah, we have the whole month of October pretty much booked up with some guests. We have a Pirate Patch coming up after TwitchCon. His is going to be somewhat special because he has to come on a little earlier because he is on the other side of the world.
Yeah, so that's going to be an early podcast. It's going to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, our time. So for him, it's... What time is it over there? I don't know.
It'll be 8 o'clock. 8 p.m. East or 8 p.m. whatever his time zone is.
Should I call myself Drummer Phil?
Drummer Phil. Sure.
That's cute.
So yeah, we have a Pirate Patch coming in 2 weeks. We have TwitchCon in a week or in 4 days, and then we have another couple of guests coming afterwards. We're not going to disclose them until we get to the next couple of guests. So. Some of you already know who you are, but keep that.
I think we can mention Tommy is official, right?
Should we?
Yeah, Tommy, you're in, right?
Tommy's in.
Okay.
The 30th. So we got Tommy coming in on the 30th.
Mercury just went direct, so you should start sounding normal now. But yeah, it's going to be fun because we're going to be dressing up. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. And we also have a metal drummer that paints his face. That's going to be fun. It's just, we're going to do a lot of fun stuff this month. But this week is I'm really hyped for TwitchCon because, I had to make it happen. We had to go. We went last time, 2019. He didn't think we were going to go. I'm like, we're going to go. We're going. We ended up going.
I didn't think I was going to go 2019 either.
Yeah. And I was like, no, we're going.
We're going.
Then if it happens in Paris next year, we're fucking going to Paris. That's it.
We're going to Paris.
Going to Paris.
So the other thing, too, is in, 3 more days? 3 more days, the release of of heading to outer space.
With Space Babe.
Yen's single coming out on Spotify, Apple Music,
everywhere,
iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, all that fun stuff. The full release. So if you haven't checked out the teaser, it's on the YouTube channel at Sky Museum Music, and also you can. I don't know if you could do a sample. You might be able to do a sample now on pre-orders on the on iTunes. But
yeah, it's very experimental, and it's gonna have a lot of different people on the actual album because it's like a collab album too, and that's what the Sky Museum is all about, is having all different types of musicians painting pretty much the painting of the sky, right? All different kinds of genres. So it's gonna be really amazing. It's a project we just started with Joshua Wu produced this song, so it has a lot of his flavor in there. And then the next one is in December, and it's more like grungy, alternative. It has like a 90s like vibe. I think you guys are gonna love it. That one's in December, but this one 3 days, so it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, everybody that is interested, let me know, because there's a lot of things that's happening behind the scenes when it comes to Sky Museum.
So be sure to join the Yen's Discord for more updates on that.
And other collabs, more collabs coming.
Yeah, a lot more collabs. But yeah, speaking of original music, we have an amazing drummer on for tonight.
Like insane, okay? Super fire drummer, okay? If you don't know Cory H. Drummer, you're gonna fucking know him today, because we're gonna just have him here. He was awesome to be here with us tonight. And he also is gonna talk about his original music with his bands. So that's gonna be really awesome. They just came back from tour. Crimson Shadow is one of the touring bands that he's with. That's like his main band, right?
I believe so.
I think.
I know he's in two big bands.
He's in 2 big bands. And he's going to be talking more about it when we get him on here. And I'm glad that you guys are coming in. Hey, Bud Cool.
And the other one is Lutharo. I think I'm saying that right. Lutharo? Lutharo? Lutharo, okay. He gave me a thumbs up. I was like, yes, I got it. First time.
I'm glad he messed it up and not me. So, yeah, and they're both amazing, really hot bands, okay? So when you guys hear them, if you're not familiar with them, get on it, all right? We're going to put you on it. And yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time with Cory. He's super chill, super badass, super sweet guy, okay?
Be sure to follow his socials.
They're all there.
They're going to be posting up between him and his 2 bands, and also his podcasts. He also does podcasts too. So
he does podcasts too.
He's gonna give us a nice flow tonight. That's for sure.
Oh, it's gonna be so good, okay? Because it's very natural, right? So without further ado, I want you to get ready for the next guest here on YenYorkCity Live, and it's Cory H. Drummer. Are you ready for me, Cory?
I am. Let's do this.
He's ready.
Let's fucking do this. Cory H. Drummer here on YenYorkCity Live. Let's go.
Now I'm not hearing anything. Oh no. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good. It's live.
It's live, guys.
Hold on.
This is how
It's
you know.
live.
This
Hold
is how
on.
you know it's live.
I know exactly where I
We're
went
here.
wrong here, and
We're live.
we're gonna rectify this. There we
All
go.
right.
All right. Here we
Yes.
go.
Yes. All right, let's do it.
Corey.
Corey!
Oh gosh.
I mean, it's still badass.
It was still
I mean,
sick.
he's still freaking
He still killed it.
looking
But-
sexy over there.
So something was going off with your audio there.
Oh, what was going wrong?
I don't know.
Chris Spacey just even. I'm
could
like, wait a
you-
second.
Oh, Chris.
Did something get changed in the Zoom settings or?
Oh, sorry. Let's try this.
Check the zooms. Check.
Is that making more sense now?
No, check the zoom settings. 'Cause I think when you're playing the music in the backing tracks, it's starting to kind of like get all like warped.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
This is live.
So,
It's live, guys.
get that audio
You just get more
settings.
time with Corey. That's
Yeah,
all.
all the settings are immaculate.
What
here.
about suppressed background noise? What is that set to?
Ooh. Suppress. Where is that?
It's
I'm
right
not seeing
above,
it.
right above the music and professional audio.
And it just
Automatically adjust microphone volume. Optimize audio.
So automatically adjust microphone volume. You want to check that off.
Yeah, it's not on.
Okay, and then underneath that should say suppress background noise. It,
Doesn't I don't have that on here.
Huh.
Mute mic when joining. No, that's it.
Very strange.
Very, very strange. Is this not? It's not working better because I do see original sound for musicians was off and now it is on again.
So it's on now. Okay, so
it's
maybe
on now. So do we want to try that again?
yes.
Yeah,
And then one last thing to check is on the upper right hand corner of your video, it says original sound should be on, right?
Yeah, original sound for musicians on.
On
Perfect.
on your video.
On the video screen, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, that should do
All
it.
right. Let's try this.
We just want you to
Again.
sound the best possible.
Yeah.
And it already
Oh,
sounds like
absolutely.
incredible. So imagine. All right.
Either way, he
All right,
never
let's-
missed a beat.
He
Gina
never
said, "Yeah,
did.
right. It was perfect."
Still looking good. All right.
All right, let's try this one more time.
One
All
more
right.
time.
Hopefully it
All
works.
right. Yes. All right. Let's do it.
Whoa.
Nice.
Everything worked this time.
Yeah, that was so much better now.
Oh, excellent, excellent. That's good to hear.
All right. It was just that one little thing that needs
At least now for the next song, everything's smooth.
Perfect. I hope so.
Yes, let's hope. Thanks, Chris. Nailed it. Yes. Fucking amazing. Incredible drummer.
Chris Pacey, that is a bass player for Letharo. That song was Worship Your Path by my band Letharo from Hamilton.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
Ooh, so good. I love everything, the dynamics of everything from how the vocals and the way it just goes up and then comes down and then it's like, oh, no. It's just everything is so good about that song. Is that one of your favorite ones to perform?
It's up there. It's definitely up there. Yeah. I got a couple favorites by them that I like to play. So, yeah, that's one of them.
The energy. I was looking into a lot of the clips that I saw, and it's just the energy on stage of you guys is incredible. Like everything, the presence, the everything, the vibe. How are the crowds? You just came from tour, right? And
yes.
So what was your last stop? What was your first and last stop? And what was your favorite spot that you hit up on this tour? And what were the highlights of this tour that you just came back from?
Well, Letharo just did Spain, so I was with them for essentially the second half of August. We toured Spain. We had 6 shows there. We started in Barcelona and we ended in Jaén, which is about a couple hours outside of Madrid. One of the biggest highlights of that run was in Zaragoza. We played. We had no idea what the show was going to be like. They said ticket sales were good, but this is the first time that the band has played outside of Canada even.
Wow.
So going all the way to Spain and doing a headlining show at a small club, it was like we had no idea what to expect from these shows.
Yeah.
And the place was almost sold out. And it was a small little bar, and we got on stage to set up, and then we turned around and the entire, everywhere we could see was packed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was insane. The energy in the crowd was absolutely amazing. And we even had people, we stopped playing the song Hopeless Abandoned, and people were singing the chorus melody after we had ended the song.
Beautiful.
It's like one of those underground fans you had no idea it existed, and they're there.
This is happening. This is happening. They're singing our song. What the fuck?
What
in
is
Spain.
going on? Yeah, in Zaragoza, Spain, of all places. So that was absolutely incredible for a younger independent band to go over there, and the energy we saw from the crowd was just incredible. Yeah, it's definitely
awesome. Who'd you tour with?
No, it was just us, and we had locals open the shows. Most of them we had one local band open, and that was it. And then we did play a bigger festival where we were playing with Crystal Viper and a few other bigger bands from Spain as well. It's about I think around 800 people at this festival. So it was very, very good. Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, Spain is gorgeous too. So did you guys get to go off and look around? Because I did see your Instagram. Very beautiful. I saw you took some really nice pictures, the cathedrals, everything there was so beautiful.
Yeah, I've toured Europe before, and it was we did 24 shows in 24 days, and it was very go, 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 and you have bus call at certain time and everything. So this time around, since we were driving ourselves, staying in hotels or hostels and everything like that, we actually had the time to take for ourselves and go see whatever we wanted. One day, we did also have a couple days off in there because we did 3 shows, and then I think we had 3 days off, and then we did 3 more.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, it was amazing. So we got to see a lot of Vigo, and one day we just went to Portugal because we were close.
Oh yeah.
So we just went, and we had lunch at this beautiful fort they have right on the border of Portugal and Spain, and
the seafood there too. Did you have seafood there?
We had a little bit, but not Not as much as I would have liked. No.
Aw. So you love seafood too. We love seafood. So it's like, oh, when you go to those places, I always feel like, you know, and then in Spain, paella, that's like the dish there, which is like filled with all the different fishes and the
Just packed full of
everything, like lobster.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's so good.
It's like a dish that would be for one person would be probably for like 2 or 3.
Yeah, or a dish that they consider an appetizer is like a full meal. Like we had was it paella, and it was like a full meal, and then like, oh no, that's just a starter. You have a whole entree coming
It's
after
like,
this. Like,
okay.
what? That's what happens when you let the Spanish people order food for you.
Yeah, and then the thing is, they take like 3 hours. Their meals. It's kind of like Italy. Italy is the same kind of like vibe, almost like it's like the cousin, right? Like you go and you eat, and then like, oh, and then there's coffee, and then there's the fruit, there's everything. So it's like you leave for a tour, and you probably come back 5 pounds heavier because of the food when you travel.
Yeah.
I definitely did. Even though we were playing like hour-long sets every night and everything, I was still gaining weight, sadly.
It's like you were full even through the flight back home.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I have a I guess a technical question for you for the drums. When touring, how do you manage getting your kit over, or do you have a sponsorship with a company that provides the kit while you're there, and then you don't have to bring stuff with you? Like, how does that work?
So I am a Mapex drums artist. So if given enough time, I can get a loaner kit well overseas, or if I'm touring in the States or anything like that. They are amazingly generous when it comes to that stuff for their artists. But that being said, you have to go through the backline companies that will supply, like distribute the brands that you are with, right? So for the Striker tour, I was able to get a Mapex kit. So I toured with Striker from the beginning of July all the way through the beginning of August. Then I had a week off, and then I did the run with Lotharo. Now for the Lotharo tour, I did have my snare and my cymbals and my pedals and my like trigger, my electronics I needed. But as far as the shells for my kit, I was kind of showing up to every show hoping that there was an okay drum kit there.
So like a house kit. Playing on a house kit.
The gamble.
On house kits, or I was sharing with the opening band, which became a big pain because they don't like sharing their drums. But
I never understood that. Like, I get that they're trying to protect their equipment, but we're all drummers, right? Like, you know, we'll take responsibility if something breaks on our behalf, you know?
Yeah. I had one situation where he was trying to tell me what I can and cannot do and everything.
Ew.
And he's like, oh no. And I'm like, he's like, that won't work. And I'm like, listen, I've been touring and doing this for like close to 15 years, or at least a better part of a decade.
Like, listen, son.
I know what can happen here, but it's fine. I'll do it your way. It'll be fine. I know that I can play on a kit even if it's not perfect, you know?
Wait, so he wouldn't let you adjust like heights of certain things?
It was more so he had his toms mounted to the kick drum, and I just wanted to pull that out and put it onto a cymbal stand. And he's like, oh, that won't work. And I'm like, right. Okay.
That won't work.
We'll do it your way. That's fine. Yeah.
It's impossible to hover a drum, okay? You can't do this.
Yeah.
It's not made for clamping, okay?
Yeah. I was not. I just didn't, at that point, I didn't want to argue with him. I was like, fine. I'll shred them regardless.
Sure, I won't do a thing to it.
Get out there, adjust everything.
You try to mess with like the hi-hat pedal tensions. You're like, haha.
You know, when you're in the middle of playing, things get moved. You know,
it's the little things, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate it. You deal with that, right? So like people are like, I don't like, people don't want people to play on their investments, and if it breaks, it's like, now what? You know, I get the whole like, I don't want my shit to break because of this person. and he's a metal drummer, so he plays a lot harder than me. He might break my shells. Like,
it was a beautiful Tamastar Classic kit, though. So I will say that I get it. It was a beautiful. It's one of those kits that probably shouldn't leave the house. You know what I mean? So I get it. But no, it all worked out, and it was fine, and the show was absolutely amazing. So yeah.
I when I share my kit, I would be their kind of drum tech, because it's if they want me to adjust something, then I would adjust it.
Because
and
your
help
baby.
them, because then I'll be like, okay, I could get this to work for you, and I'll get it to your height and your customizations, and that way. If you're touching something and it's messed up, I know why.
So you're like hovering above them and like
no, I assist them. So it's like if they don't want a tom, I pull the tom out for them, and they're adjusting their cymbals and stuff, which is natural. And then I was like, do you want this tom here? You want this off? Like, how do you want this to be? And then I'll kind of make those adjustments and assist them. So
yeah. Also, the difficult thing in Spain was a language barrier as well. Their English wasn't so great, and my Spanish was even worse. So that was a little bit of a difficulty there. But all in all, like everything seemed to run fine. It was okay. A little frustrating from time to time, but we all got through it together, so it was okay.
Aww.
Universal languages are no.
Like, see? No. Yes.
Yes. No.
Bueno. Yeah, it's like but music is universal. It's a universal language. So just to know that there's a bunch of people that love your music in Spain, that's like mind blowing. Like, how did it get there? Like, and then you start figuring it out. Well, I mean, we're online. It's a big open world, and we've made it smaller when it comes to music. Before, it was so hard to just get your music out there, right? So how did you start? What was your first band that you ever started when you was probably you just said you've been playing for over 15 years. So let's go back and rewind.
Oh, we're going to go back? We're going way back to... Oh, wow. So the first... So going back to when I was a wee lad. So technically, like, I played with some friends back in early days of high school and stuff like that, just jamming in the garage and like, yeah, we're a band now. But the first actual band I played for was with my older brother. It was a band called Swords of Scorn. He is 5 years older than me, so him and a buddy from high school had this band. They actually recorded an album with Glenn Drover, who later joined Megadeth, and he at that point had played for King Diamond and done a lot of stuff. So, and he played on the record as well. And then my brother's like, "Hey, we need a bass player. Do you want to join?" So I actually started out as a bass player. That my first band when I was 15, and then that band transitioned into Crimson Shadows after we had issues with our drummer, and then we decided that we were just going to branch off, and me, him, and our other guitar player Greg were going to form our own band. So in the meantime, though, I started playing drums with some other friends in a hardcore project called Hello Beautiful. And it was really just like we were from the punk hardcore scene, like locally, like throughout our high schools and everything. And we just started jamming together. And then we started getting more shows and this and like small tours and like minor label offers. And it was a really cool experience, because that's really when I started playing drums, was just for the fun of it with my friends. Yeah. And then when Crimson Shadows started, we that band kind of fizzled out a little bit. Everyone was like either going to college or doing this, that, the other thing, and we just didn't have time for it anymore. And Crimson Shadows couldn't find a drummer, so because I was originally supposed to play bass. So then I just said, I'm gonna get a lot better, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, so I had to like set my metronome to 200, and I got to play 16th notes with my feet, and away we go. So yeah, that was kind of how Crimson Shadows came to be. Then I've played in I don't even know how many bands since then. So
you started as a bass player.
Yeah,
And
I
bass.
started playing guitar when I was 12, and then that transformed into bass, and then drums from there. So slowly got pushed into the rhythm section, further and further back.
So is drums your instrument of choice? Would you say like that's my main?
Absolutely. At this point, yeah, I've been doing this longer than anything else. So,
It's what
and
you-
this one I actually get calls to play on. I don't get calls to play bass for anybody anymore. So,
It's like no one knows you play bass anymore. It's like
Right,
it doesn't
yeah.
exist.
yeah, it's Cory H. drummer, not Cory H. instrumentalist. Right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. So do you ever streamed? I know you stream drums, but have you ever gotten any requests for that? Like, oh, you play bass. Why don't you have a bass stream, man?
No, I
No,
don't think so.
no.
Nobody wants
It's
to
like-
see me fumble around a bass, not playing Iron Maiden properly. You know, like yeah, nobody wants to see that. I have in the past. I've done more production-based streams because I also produce and engineer bands and mix and everything like that. So I have done streams like going over some mixing stuff that I'm doing and more or less just chatting and everything. So I'm gonna start doing more of that coming up. I've just been trying to like push the drum streams as much as possible because I just have a lot more fun doing that. So
Yeah, and there's so much love here. The
Mhm.
drummers here on Twitch is like a whole family. We call it the Drum Fam.
Drum fam.
And it's just been an enormous amount of love, especially here on the podcast. We've had like over 60 something drummers. I'm sure it's probably more now since we started doing this. So you'll see a lot of them show up and just hang out and chat and be like, yeah, let's talk about gear. Let's talk about Damo. He's from Australia. He has some crazy stories. And yeah, he's an amazing, incredible drummer too.
He loves gear.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like very, very into everything. And so we had so many drummers that we just have like sometimes a whole chat full of drummers. So, and you don't see that as much in a lot of communities. Is they're all trying to just psh each other, but here it's all about like, wow, man, that you're like just cheering each other on, rooting each other on, and it's a beautiful thing to see in the drummers community. And I can't wait to meet a lot of the drummers on Twitch at TwitchCon. They have a whole pizza party thing going on, and we're all gonna hang out and eat pizza and bullshit and just talk. So I can't wait. There's gonna be a lot of them. But yeah, like. So I want to talk about gear because I see you have a gorgeous kit in front of you.
I do. I do.
Let's talk about it.
So this is a Mapex Saturn V kit. It is a maple walnut shells. I have a 10, 12 rack tom. Currently I'm using a 16-inch floor tom. I also have a 14 for this as well, but it's a little stuffy back here. So I do use it live and in studio. So 10, 12, 14, 16, two 22-inch kick drums. I'm currently using my 14 by 6.5 brass Persuader snare, which is also Mapex, the Mapex Persuader. It's a 1.2 millimeter brass hand-hammered snare. I love it. And currently I have no dampening on it, and I'm liking how it sounds. Typically I'll use some moon gels to dampen the overtones, but I'm pretty happy with it right now.
You don't hear much of the overtones coming out of there.
Yeah, well, I also mix everything through Pro Tools, so there's definitely some EQ moves on there to get that like
Scoop and cut.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, you need to, right? Scoop those mids always. Yeah, I'm currently for cymbals. I am using these Samsung. You can't really see it there, but these Samsung Crashes. The wonderful people at Samsung have let me try these out. I actually got a message from the artist rep earlier today. I got a chat with him. This is a medium thin, an 18-inch medium thin crash. I love how that thing sounds. And what line is this? This is from the Absolute line from Samsung, and this is also an 18-inch medium thin Crash, but it's from the Evo line. It's slightly different. You can't really see it from there, but I'll post some pictures in my Discord of all that stuff. And the rest of my cymbals are like Sabian, and then I use the Zildjian A custom hats on my right side. I love these. I don't think I can ever let these go from my right side hats, but also my favorite cymbal, my second favorite cymbal of all time actually, is my Sabian Power Bell Ride. It's a 20-inch power bell, and I love the bell on this thing. It is absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's so huge. I love it so much. And then obviously I need the 19-inch Holy China from
love
Sabian.
those Holy Chinas.
It's the best. It is literally the best China to
cracked
ever be
mine.
made. This one is oh, sorry. This one is cracked, but I have a brand new one that I have at my other jam space. So yeah, it still sounds beautiful though, even though it's got a little crack in it. So
Give it some extra trash to it, you know?
yeah, exactly, right? Like it just like dampens it so it doesn't like blow everyone's ears off all the time.
Yeah.
So that's a must-have. If you crack it, then you have to replace it. That's a must in your arsenal.
Yeah, I tried because they're so expensive and they break so easily. I used it for years and I was like, I can't keep doing this. This is ridiculous. And I tried other Chinas in that position, like my main right China, and I keep going back to it. I have to. I need it. Like it's just, left side I can. Yeah, left side I want something a little shorter, a little just more snappy, but like the way this thing cuts, has a nice wash to it as well. Like everything about it, it's literally, when I think of a China, it is the perfect sound. And I've had guys that I played with, they're like, that thing sounds like a sample. Like, like it's so strange, like jamming. Yeah. Oh, it's incredible.
Those new Sabian hi-hats are amazing too. That looks like Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
They have like little holes in them. I'm like, wow, like that's the next thing I want to kind of get into is swapping out my hi-hats with those, like as an X hat.
Yeah. I'd love to try some of those. All the ones with the holes in them and everything. I just feel like I'd get my sticks caught in them all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
So.
Whoops.
Yeah.
So what's Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I have these 13-inch stage hats over here that are Sabian HHX series, and I absolutely love them. I've been playing them for like 8 years, I think now, and they're incredible. The 13-inch on the left is perfect. Yeah.
And then your China on your left side?
My left side is I believe it's I want to say 17-inch extreme Chinese AAX Sabian.
Yeah, the extreme. I have one of those.
Yeah, they're great. They're short. They do exactly what I need it to do. I mainly am going to use it either like in combination with like both of them, more like a count type of thing, or while I'm doing blast beats. So it's good just to like accent off of, right?
Got like a glassy tone to them.
Absolutely, yeah. They're nice. They're very like brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's your dream kit look like? Is this your dream? That's what I wanted to ask you. Or is there something that you still want to this day added to your kit?
There's a couple things that I want added to my kit.
Oh, okay. Let us know.
Well, for one, I do want to order another rack tom. I want an 8-inch rack tom. As well. I always, for the last 10 years, I've played 3 rack toms, and then over the last couple years, I've kind of adjusted my setup to 2 rack toms for some reason. So I want that third rack tom. I like the 8 in, so it's like 8, 10, 12 up top, and 14, 16, and I want to add an 18-inch floor tom as well.
18s are booming.
They're so nice. But I would probably have like the 18 on the left, and then I'd go 14, 16 on the right, and I want to add a gong drum in as well. Like
even more boom.
I'm
Oh,
always
yeah,
telling him
yeah.
you need a gong in your life. Like
Well, a gong drum is a
Yeah.
deeper drum. It's like
Yeah,
it's like a bass drum as a floor tom, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. I want one of those. Yeah, and just more cymbals, more of everything. Really, would
More of
be the
everything.
dream. But for the most part, like this is. This kit is so amazing. I've recorded several things with it, and the Mapex kits in general. Like what I really want is to get one of the new Mapex. I can't even think of the name. It's a new Saturn like Revolution series. And they are absolutely incredible. I used one in studio last December to record the new Crimson Shadows record, and it was like so easy to tune. It looked incredible. It sounded amazing. I love maple shells specifically, so that is like it was my dream kit to play on, and it was this beautiful like pearl white, and yeah,
white.
so. Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm like fascinated by white kits right now.
yeah,
I
they're
always
gorgeous, right? I was
I
just telling
know.
him how like there's something about them. I don't know what it is. I remember one of the studio spaces had a white kit, and I was like, oh, I love white kits. Something about them.
Yeah,
Or red. Or red.
Yo, red.
I have a thing
I
with
did-
red too.
I did have a black and red kit.
Oh, that's like
the
my favorite
finish-
combo.
Yeah, the finish was called a Scarlet Fade on order, but like something happened with the order and it got lost. And I ended up getting this kit, which is like a black pearl finish, and I love it. I've gotten a lot of comments on the
Yeah.
finish, and people love it, so that's good. It's not my Scarlet Fade that I wanted though, so.
So the black has
Oh,
like
wow.
a shine to it then, because you said black
It looks
pearl,
like almost
right?
like a flat satin.
It's a black burl is what they call it. It's kind of like a transparent black, so it's kind of like
Ooh.
almost like a greenish black with some swirls and stuff in it in the finish.
Huh.
I can send more pictures and stuff of that as well. We can toss in the Discord or whatever.
Oh yeah.
If you like. So yeah, it's very.
I'd love to check it out.
I love this kit.
Yen
Yeah,
has
yeah.
a section in her Discord, especially for anyone that's listening. If you want to throw in your kits and your setup and stuff in there,
Yeah, gear.
feel free. It's in the gear area.
I have that, and I also have a spot for your tattoos when you can share all your sleeves and stuff. And we were talking about your sleeves.
yeah,
yeah.
tattoos, bro.
And he got an incredible one. That one on his arm is just
Oh.
he did post it on his Discord, like some close-ups, and
Yeah.
it took you how many hours? We were talking about that, like.
Oh my god! I think I've done 6 sessions on it, and each one was 5 to 6 hours each.
6 sessions
Ooh my
for
god.
just that top piece.
Yeah, because the
No, for the whole thing.
Oh,
The
yeah,
whole
okay,
thing.
okay.
Yeah.
So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
It's like, jeez, for that top piece.
No,
lot
the
of
top
different
piece was
shadings.
2 sessions for the outline. This is all a cover up and a rework. So I had a friend start the sleeve years ago, and she wasn't able to finish it. So I got another tattoo artist to come in and had to redo everything, change some stuff up, and then we actually covered up. This is the whole Raven here is actually a cover up of what was there before. So yeah,
Yeah, I gotta get mine finished.
Should we ask what was there before?
it was a skull.
Oh, it's
So,
a skull.
Yeah, you can actually see one of the pictures that I have posted has it pretty clear what was there before. So
It's funny.
yeah.
My brother did a cover up on one of his tattoos, and it was supposed to be like an eagle holding the moon on top of the moon. And when he first got it done for his very first tattoo, it looks like a bird holding a cookie.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
It was so bad.
Oh my god.
So he had that for a while, and then he finally got it like redone and fixed up, and it looks so much
Like a
better
Chips
now.
Ahoy cookie.
Nice.
Oh man, it was so. It was like
Yeah,
one of those like
yeah,
2D like if you were a kid drawing a cookie.
Like first stages of like.
It's like the
Damn.
artist tried to make craters, but it didn't
Did
work
he-
out.
Jeez, was he like rehearsing, like practicing on his skin? Jeez, that's tough.
Well, I've had probably about I think I've had 5 apprentices do work on me like so far. So I am a big advocate for helping people learn. So I don't mind if there's any tattoo artists out there in the Southern Ontario area who need some canvas. I am open to it.
Aww.
My legs
For free?
are I tip. I give tips. Absolutely.
He's a big tipper, guys, just so you know. He's like, damn, no.
Putting it out there. He's like, oh, man, why'd you say that?
You're going to have like a bunch
Why'd
of
you say
people.
that?
They're expecting $300 tips now. What the hell?
I mean, I didn't say price. I mean, that's like a whole, that's like something, right?
Sorry,
like,
I was tagging that in there.
oh my God. I mean, tattoos are expensive. We're talking G's. We're talking about thousands.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, if they're
definitely.
practicing, I mean, they should.
I got to get mine finished. I have the top portion done. I got to get the bottom one colored in. I just got to find a tattoo artist that's it's basically a coloring book for him, you know? So I got to...
That's the thing.
just
That's
fill
what's
in the
hard.
blanks.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said that too. He said that it's hard to find somebody that is going to touch your previous tattoo that you just want them to, you know, add stuff to, because it's a different artist. So it's always tricky to find someone that's similar but not exactly the same, because everyone's a little different. And then if they're willing to go in there, because like, it's not my art, but, you know, I'm adding to it. So every tattoo artist is different about those kind of things.
Yeah, I got extremely lucky. I found an artist in the East End of Toronto. I absolutely loved all her work. And when I contacted her, she was totally down to work on this sleeve and this cover up with me. And I just kind of give her free reign of like, do whatever you want. I'll probably give you the thumbs up on, you know, I'm not going to ask you to change anything.
Nice.
And she loves that. And I talked to the previous artist and she was totally okay with somebody else finishing the sleeve and everything. So, you know, all bases were covered there. Because I don't like the idea of going behind someone's back. It's their art and everything like that. So I made sure that I asked her first and everything was fine before going ahead with a different artist. So yeah, she also moved to Calgary, so a little difficult to get her to do that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing is like the coloring. I love how it has like the red and the black.
It pops.
Yeah, it really pops.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was her idea as well. I need to finish the rest of this, which would be a lot of black. Like a lot of this will be blacked out as well, so that red will pop even more with another black kind of behind it as well.
Sick.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
so
excited.
we'll dive deeper into the history of your tattoos after your next song. How about we jump into our second song of the night?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, let's
Sounds
do that.
good.
This is I'm gonna dive into some Crimson Shadows. We're gonna see how this goes with being sitting here for the last half hour not moving.
Do a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Redeem stretch.
Yeah, this song is called A Gathering of Kings off our 2014 Napalm Records release, Kings Among Men. So hope you enjoy it.
All right, awesome. Let's go.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Like that, guys, that just like looking at a drummer in his element doing all those things. I don't even know what to say, but like somebody said it in the chat. It's not fair you have robot legs.
No fair robot legs.
Now, I wasn't too happy with my legs that time, but hey, thank you, I appreciate it.
That's an intense song, dude.
I know.
Yeah,
You weren't
and
kidding.
Actually, that is one of the slower ones
okay.
that I picked. So I was like, okay,
It's like
this one
I'm gonna,
might be doable.
All right, take it easy for this podcast.
Yeah. It's tough.
So
well, especially for me though, like going into a Crimson Shadow set or anything, I need to be fully warmed up.
Yeah.
And like hot before I hit the stage.
So what do you do for your warm-ups?
Yeah, that's a good question.
A lot of just general exercise, I guess. A lot of like jumping jacks, push-ups, stuff to get the. And stretches, absolutely stretches. I'll sit down on a practice pad. 95% of the time, I don't have the space in venues or anything to bring a proper kick pad setup in. So most of the time, it's just essentially like air drumming with my feet on the ground while doing practices on a practice pad with my sticks. But for me, a large portion of it is just making sure my muscles are warm, my blood is pumping, and so that way when I do my stretches, it is properly stretching at the muscles and everything like that. Because if you go and you do your stretches cold, you can end up straining your muscles and doing more damage. Mm-hmm. So yeah, for me, it's just if I get a chance, I'll go for a quick jog like around the venue or something. But yeah, it's just about making sure I am warm and slightly sweaty. Just slightly.
Just
Yeah.
a little damp.
Little moist.
A little damp. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to these winter months. The winter shows are the worst. I love the summer. You're always hot. You're always sweating. It's fun. I love it.
So what band came first, Crimson Shadows or Lutharo?
Crimson Shadows. Crimson Shadows formed in 2006, and I think Lutharo didn't take on the name Lutharo until 2014.
Wow, so 16 years.
Now, I am not the original drummer of Lutharo. They have had, I think I'm now the 8th drummer in that band.
I need a backup story.
Are you the longest lasting drummer at least?
I'm not sure about that. So they had a couple different drummers over the years. They're a very young high school type of band that when they originally formed. And over the years, as they grew and everything, your high school friends kind of find other paths. And it just kind of became more of a hobby like a side thing to do rather than a true passion that they wanted to make a career out of. So over the years, Victor and Krista, who are the forming members of the band, have kind of found other members that are like-minded with them to help grow more like better musicians and people who are more passionate about doing this as a career. So in, what was it, 2017, I want to say, they signed up for the Vaughan Metal Battle in Canada here, which my band Crimson Shadows was a part of in 2013. And their drummer just wasn't working out, for lack of terms.
Better words.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
So I had been friends with them for a while at that point, and they asked me to fill in for the duration of the battle. And so I did that, and then I continued to play with them for a couple shows after the fact, and then I decided I needed to leave to pursue my other projects I had on the go. I played for a band called Johnny NoCash and the Celtic Outlaws at the time, who were quite busy. We toured in Germany and did a lot of stuff in Ontario and Quebec and the east coast of Canada as well. That band's no longer, but yeah, I was very, very busy with my other projects, so I decided I had to step down from that position. They got in a couple different guys, and then they had to part ways with their drummer who did their last record, Hi-Ryth, right as the album was being released.
Oh, wow.
So I filled in for a couple shows, and then they approached me and said, "Hey, we have to part ways with our drummer, and do you want to join?" And so I immediately was like, "Yes, I think I do.
I think I do.
I think I do. I think I do." And so far, everything has been great. Vibes are immaculate in the
Awesome.
band, and the first big tour we did was in Spain. So other than that, it's been a lot of like small, like 2-3 show groupings and stuff like that. So it was great getting the whole band out and like getting on the road together and just seeing how all that gelled together and everything was great. It was fantastic.
Who handles
great.
getting all the shows and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Everything is between Victor, the founding member, guitar player, and Chris, the bass player. Chris he's really stepped it up and done a lot of amazing things. Like most of the shows booked through Spain was because of Chris. And he's really stepped up everything to lend a hand wherever.
So you
need
guys
be.
are self-managed. You don't work under management agencies.
Currently. Now I might be giving some stuff away, but that will be changing.
No, we
soon.
did disclose. We did disclose. If there's anything you would like to not discuss or be asked, just let us know.
That is true. No, that will be changing soon as we grow. Ever since like while we were in Spain, things started really changing for the band for the better.
For the better.
And I think that's just because we took that jump. Not a whole lot of independent bands and stuff will fly across the ocean to play 6 shows.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that in that time frame, we got recognized by a lot of people in the industry and stuff, and a lot of changes and stuff is happening in the background right now. So come next year, like we have a lot of big stuff planned personally, and with all the team that we're slowly putting together behind us is going to help us achieve those goals. I really, really think so. By the end of 2023, a lot is going to be
exciting shit, guys. Exciting shit.
So,
Make sure you're following them and be up to date on their journey. So that's going to be amazing.
We also stream on Twitch as well. So if you're interested, we do it's Lotharo at Lotharo Official, and we do Twitch streams as a band, and the Twitch community has been absolutely amazing to us.
Yeah, Twitch is amazing.
Incredible. This month alone has been absolutely like we're kind of like in shock by how amazing our streams have been going and how supportive everyone is of the band, and yeah, it's keeping the lights on, you know.
That's good.
Oh, man. That's beautiful to hear. And the fact that there's not a lot of bands that will go and take that leap, go to Spain, and then look at the love you received. So that just like speaks volumes, and that's why all these things start happening. It's like once you start making the moves and you're like, let's do it. Like we're in it. Let's really do it. Let's do this thing. And then you start flying and going places. That's when everything opens up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what are your influences, like your drumming influences, like that molded your style in a sense?
Top 5 drummers in your life that impacted you as a drummer.
Top 5 drummers is difficult because I never necessarily focused on idolizing individuals, but bands as a whole that influenced me.
You respect.
But I will say that Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden was a massive influence on me growing up. They were like my favorite band all through high school, and they were like one of the biggest influences that got me into metal. So like he's definitely up there, and even these days I'm going back through and trying to learn some of the songs from the 80s and stuff, and it's very interesting to learn them now that I'm like 15 years into playing drums and going back and learning stuff that I loved as a teenager and everything. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, he's a big influence. My early days was a lot of punk drummers as well. I was always drawn to drums even before I started playing them. So like I was as a preteen or whatever, I was a massive Blink-182 fan, and I always thought Travis Barker was like the shit. Like he was the coolest guy ever. Hence like the spacers and the tattoos. Like I wanted to be him like 100% when I was like 12 years old. So yeah, he was definitely a big influence, whether I liked it or not, just on me as a person. So you can see the spectrum of Iron Maiden and Blink-182.
Yeah, it's like it's a mix.
Yeah, and Daniel Erlandson from Arch Enemy. He was a huge influence in the early days of like starting my band and everything. Like Arch Enemy was always kind of like a go-to reference of like, okay, is this good? I don't know. Like, would Arch Enemy do it? Like,
Oh wow,
so,
yeah.
yeah, they were like the melodic death metal band back in the day for me. Anyways, them and Children of Bodom.
Oh.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think other drummers. There's so many. There were so many in my local scene as well that were big influences. Like just going to local shows as a kid, we had a big like hardcore and death metal scene in my small town growing up. So it was more so going and seeing these guys. There's this band starring Janet Leigh, which they actually got picked up by a bigger label. At the time, it was like, oh my God, because they were like extreme tech death, like grindcore type stuff. And they got picked up, I want to say, I want to say it was like Ferret Records or something like that. And it was just, it was crazy. And getting to go to a local show and watching this drummer play was like mind blowing. Like I took a lot of influence from the guys that were kind of more around locally as well, because I went out to a lot of local shows growing up and played a lot of the local shows and everything. So those were like the biggest influences as far as influencing me directly, because the next day I'd go home and be trying to play some of that stuff, So yeah.
So what was the first song you ever nailed on the drums as a kid when you started playing that you were like, yes, this is the song I really wanted to learn to play?
I never really learned covers because when I first started playing, it was very much so like organically with friends. Like when I started playing for the hardcore band, there was a drum kit at my house because my other band rehearsed there. And I was like, we were partying and it was like, hey, would you guys want to jam? And then that kind of just, the next week they came over again. And then the week after that, and it kind of just happened organically. And then if I was practicing, I was working on the songs that we were writing. Right. And then when it came time to do, for me to step in for Crimson Shadows to take over the drum roll there, it was very much so working like to a metronome with a BPM, and like I need to get as fast as possible, and I was very just focused on my own music and not learning other people's music necessarily because it wasn't really time permitting. So
that's actually very respectable, and I think that makes you even more badass because you're like, I'm gonna make my own shit, I'm gonna make my own art, I'm not gonna idolize other people, I'm gonna be creative on my own and see what happens when I do that. So which people could really get stuck on playing covers and cover bands and all that stuff, and I'm not downing it, but I do tend to try to tell people like, I think you should do what you think in your heart would be something that comes out of you artistically instead of learning other people's art, because you're basically repainting the same painting, right? So it's like it's okay, like it's fine, but I respect that so much that you actually from the get-go you were like, I just want to make my own stuff. I just want to start seeing what comes out of me and then see what happens. And look at you now. So
yeah,
it's incredible.
no, I do wish that I kind of sat down and learned more from other people, just to get other like creative voices in my head, and I'm starting to do that a little more now. Like I do play a lot of covers on Twitch and everything, but I think it's beneficial if you hear something that you really like and you're like, oh, I want to learn this, and you sit down and you learn that section. Now learning an entire song might not be as it can still have benefits to it, like learning song structures and how things flow and transition appropriately on what I would say like mainstream music, or like bands that are of a certain caliber, right? If you are just starting out, but for me, it was I just didn't I didn't have time. I was so hyper focused on the bands that I had and wanting to make that music the best it possibly could be, that I just didn't. It wasn't even in my thought process to try to learn other people's stuff, to be honest. Like, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's respectable, and I think that's awesome that you stuck to it and you were just like writing your own stuff from the very beginning.
Now, not all of it was very good or made any sense, but you know, we grow, we make mistakes. I listen to some of the old demos from the early stuff, and I'm like, what was I even doing there? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
So what was your first gig like? Any horror stories? Any like really funny stories that happened when your first gig ever?
Worst experience and best experience.
Yes, I love that question, because we always get the best stories out of that question.
So my first experience on stage, I was playing bass. It was Swords of Scorn's album release party, and we decided that it was going to be a good idea to play a 2-hour set.
Wow, for your very first show.
It's a great idea.
First show ever.
Sounds perfect.
15 years old, and we did, I think, our entire album plus 3 new songs and 2 covers. And it was like close to a 2-hour set, and I said I will never play that long ever again in my entire life. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I will say, like, worst story for on stage, like worst thing to happen was we were playing Crimson Shadows was on tour in Europe. We were playing Paris, France, sold out show. Place was probably 200 people over capacity. It was just like puking people all over the place. It was insane.
Like, don't flip.
Like, no, like as in there were just like people literally like coming out of everywhere.
Oh, thank God! There's that puke everywhere. I'm just like getting an image of like
everybody's just throwing up like crazy.
And you got the view of everything happening at once.
Like, what the hell was in those cookies?
No, luckily it wasn't like that. And we honestly, we couldn't even go out into the audience afterwards because it was that packed. It was absolutely insane. My in-ears broke right before the set. So
that's horrible.
That was a bummer. And for some reason, I always have a backup pair.
That sucks. When you're in-ears? No, it gets worse?
It gets worse.
I mean, what could go wrong? What else could go wrong? That was the
first one. So I ended up borrowing an extra set from somebody else, but then our mixer wasn't working because we run intros and like some backing orchestrations. My mixer died. It was no good. Victor, look at that new follower right there. Thank you, Victor. What a legend.
What's up, Vic?
And so I had to borrow. Then like we're scrambling because we're setting up. We're supposed to be playing, and then I have to borrow a mixer from somebody else, and then we get everything going and plug it in, and I'm like, okay, I can hear everything. Let's go. Sound guy's like, yeah, like we need to start now. We're already pushing it. So I hit play. Everything sounds fine in my ears, but front of house isn't getting anything.
Oh, no.
And then the click track starts, and the click is being sent to front of house.
So it was reversed.
Oh, no.
So it was reversed. So I then had to like my guitar player comes running out and is like just trying to play something, and I was like, it was an
mask over it.
absolute catastrophe in front of a sold-out show.
Oh, man.
So I shut the clicks off. I just did a count-in. We went into the first song. Crowd surfer after crowd surfer, huge mosh pit. Everyone was just like loving it, even though it was like the worst start to a show ever. But it ended up being like a really fantastic show, and everything was great after that. But like that was the most embarrassing time of my life.
The moment you started try to breathe through it all.
That's what you gotta do. You just gotta breathe through it and just don't panic. Don't panic.
That's it. Yeah, like I don't know. Nothing like at that point I was like, nothing worse could happen here. Like, you know, like come on.
You know, your seat breaks as you're mid-play.
Or like you fall over and you like totally scrape the whole.
Like me.
Oh yeah.
I played a show and it was at the end of like you hit the last hit right
Like,
at the last song to end the night, and then I was doing this massive fill. And then this lady goes on stage and she grabs the microphone and she's screaming into the microphone at random. And I guess, I don't know, that startled me. And then I went to hit the cymbals and I missed.
and
then my chair, because it was so far back from the stage, the back leg was hung off the back of like the lip of the stage. So
then there was a curtain.
It was a curtain. So then
my God.
It went back behind the stage and I fell backwards.
You see him go through the curtain.
You see my shoe fly up, right? And then I'm like, and then I get up and then they're still writing the note, and I get up and I hit the cymbal for the last hit, and I'm like, all right, we're good.
But then he got
we're
skinned.
done here.
Yeah, and I scraped all of my arm all the way down. It was so
over
bad.
here.
Oh my God.
And it was live because he was streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, and you were streaming, so
Yes.
everybody saw that.
Yeah.
Oh my, it makes it even worse.
It was
Great.
fun.
Oh, yeah. Luckily, I haven't fallen off any stages in quite some time.
Good.
So yeah, it's been a while.
Let's not have that happen ever.
Good streak.
No, definitely not.
And that's like one of my worst fears too, is that, you know, you're working on a backing track and then the backing track doesn't work or is just not outputted correctly.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there was a story actually this week with who was it? Falling in Reverse canceled some major festivals or whatever because they lost their laptop, and everyone's like, "What do you mean? Just pick up your instruments and play." And it's like, you guys don't even have any kind of grasp on how complex a live show is these days.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, like it's not as easy for most of those style of band anyways to just get up on stage and play. Like it's not going to be the same show, and they don't want to put on a half-ass show either.
Yeah.
So
Sonically, it's not the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
even like a lot of these bands too, like all their lighting
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, too.
MIDI sequenced,
Yeah.
right? Like so a large
You would
portion
freak
of,
out. You would
I
cancel.
would.
He would totally cancel.
My lights don't
Oh,
work here on
100%.
stream. I'm like, I can't do this.
That's it. We're gonna have the stream. That's it. My lights don't work. That's it. It's over.
That's it, right? Like
It's
I
the
get
vibe.
it.
It's my vibe. You know.
Yeah, but it just really went to show just seeing everyone's reaction, like how in the dark the general public audience is on, like how much work and everything that goes into a live performance with these bigger bands these days. Like it's not the same as it used to be, and you know, so and the performances are ridiculous these days with everything.
Yeah.
So
Everything's timed, even to
Oh my
like
God.
the projection as well.
yeah,
You know,
everything.
It's crazy.
It's nuts. I love it though. I love it.
Yeah. That's what
like
makes it great, right?
The
the whole
adventure.
thing
It is,
behind it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for us too. Like you have to stay on the click, or else everything, the whole show
Yeah.
gets thrown off. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's
and then
crazy.
once it's all solid, right? Once it's all like good and you're playing and everything sounds great, it's like the best feeling ever because like it's
It
working.
is, yeah. Well, even I was on tour with Stryker, a band from Edmonton, earlier this summer in Europe, and their guitar tone is on the computer. they run a session in Reaper, and everything is automated. All their guitar solos are automated with the different effects.
Oh yeah, effect changes.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like so, they have no pedals, they have no nothing. They don't have to worry about changing anything. Everything does it on its own, and it is amazing.
Yeah, I
So
saw.
simple.
There was this guy I found on YouTube, Gear Gods,
Yes,
and
Trey.
Trey, yeah, and he has something similar to that where the pedals are in the backboard and they switch according to like automation with the click, and the guitars are just running off of that. So.
Yeah, the cool thing with Striker's setup is that their guitar tone and everything is just an amp sim plugin.
Oh,
so they can just literally write the automation for everything they need, and they don't need pedals or they don't need anything. It was scary because we had to like keep that laptop under a lock and key. Like, we can't lose or break this, because it literally we wouldn't be able to play a show without it.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some pros and cons behind that too. It's like if your computer, because you can overpower that computer with a lot of automation too. So you gotta have a really good computer. And then if that computer goes down, you have no pedals, then you're running off of nothing, you know.
And we
as a backup.
we did have a couple situations, luckily at smaller shows, where the power to our X8 or our whole rig got unplugged, and we literally we couldn't play, we couldn't finish, so we had to stop the song, plug it in, and then go to the next song. And yeah, it sucks, but that happens. Oh well, you know, moving on. We don't let it. Yeah, we don't let it kill the vibes. Like, we keep going, and you know, have another drink, and there we go.
All it takes is one asshole with a beer can to end a tour with a good throw.
Oh yeah, with a
right
solid throw right to the laptop. Oh man.
No.
That's why we put it back by me. It's harder to get to the back of the stage, and I got all the drums in the way and everything, so it works
So
out.
true. Just trust the drummer with everything.
Yes.
So we're at the point where we can start opening up the queue for people to join in the chat for
Mike,
about.
you want to come in?
You guys got like a minute, 2 minutes opportunities. We're gonna have it open for about 15 minutes, and we're gonna pick at random people in the queue on Discord. So join the Discord. Join the sub waiting area. You got to be a subscriber. You also got to be a VIP to have access to this, and make sure your Discord and your Twitch is synced so that you guys can have access via your sub. So hop in the sub waiting area. Once I see people in there, then we'll drag people into the podcast room for a quick QA with Cory
Or Tommy. What's it be, Tommy?
In the meantime, I want to know what you do with your beard, dude. You got a killer beard.
Oh man, that Viking look is
thank
hot.
you.
I mean, you got to put
it's
something
really
in
hot
that.
right now, right?
Yeah.
Most days I don't. If I want to feel like, if I'm going out and I just like want to feel good, I do have some beard oil and stuff that I use, but I don't use it on the regular.
You can, right? It's like too much, too oily.
Just the scent. I'm not a big like scent person. I don't wear cologne or anything like that. Like, it's like I just don't want that smell.
That natural Viking smell.
Yeah,
Scent.
like all day, every day. No, that's something where like I put it on, and then that way it like just, you know, makes me feel good when I'm going out. But yeah, I do have. I wish I had it here now.
So what is it, Dr. Squash or something like that?
No. It's a specific beard oil.
Valhalla butter.
A friend. A fan actually sent me. She messaged me on Instagram. It was like, "Hey, I make beard oil for bands," and like she's made it for like Suffocation and like a bunch of death metal bands. And then she sent me a bottle, which is why I wish I had it to like show, but I can't.
Your promo right there.
Yeah, and I don't use it like often enough for me to remember.
It's like
the name,
organic. Does it have like certain, just like a couple of ingredients? Because that's big in the beard community.
Yeah. There's no like chemicals or any crazy stuff, and it's all natural, and it doesn't it doesn't have that like piney scent to it. Like it's I don't know how to explain it necessarily, but it's not like your typical beard oil scent, and I really enjoy it because of that. So yeah.
And how many do you cut it often, or do you just let it go like where it goes?
Usually like I would say once every 2 months I do a trim. I don't cut it. I just trim it. I just shape and trim it, and you gotta trim the mustache up or else it
and
gets
your hair is really long
everything.
too. Your hair is just as beautiful.
I need a haircut. All right. I need one really bad.
When was the last time you got a real haircut?
Typically I would take about 8 to 10 inches off every 6 months.
That's
6 to 8 months.
And it's still that long?
But right now I haven't had a haircut in, I want to say, about 16 months since I've gotten it cut. So it's way it's the longest it's ever been. I'll say that. But yeah, usually once it gets down to my waist, and then I cut it like,
oh my God, his waist
halfway there, then yeah.
I had him grow his beard. It was like what, up to here? And
No,
you're like,
not even.
It
was a little bush, but it was like
it was nice. But your hair grew really nice and long too.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Like me with a beard, I keep telling her I gotta go through my, I guess the awkward stage of like it being like a horseshoe shape almost.
Like a horseshoe.
You know,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't look good on me for that, and I don't know how to tame that or trim it to get that shape. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So do you shave the sides and then you just like trim the middle of the goatee?
I don't shave, but I do trim down the sides a little bit, you know, around the ears and everything, and then I like anything below the jawline, basically I just let it go. Yeah.
All right, so we got
Tommy
Tommy in here. He's in mute right now, so we got to get
Tommy
him to
is from Detroit.
Detroit.
What's up?
There's
What's up,
Tommy!
Tommy?
All right,
Our
Tommy,
boy
hold on.
Tommy.
Give me a second. I got to put 2 minutes on the clock here for you.
Uh-oh.
I got to time you.
He's
you know?
good,
You
he's
can't-
good.
You can't be in here for too long, otherwise I got to kick you out. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, you're good.
All right, hold on.
I just had a quick question. So, what's his favorite drummer or concert or artist he's seen live? And I guess that's it. Whether it was either attending or somebody he's played with.
I like the vibes.
Do you hear him?
I cannot hear Tommy, no.
Oh, 1 sec. Sorry, Tommy. Hold on.
Oh, was he talking?
He
And
was
I
just
all
talking.
good,
He was
man.
asking a question.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. No, sorry. I cannot hear.
Okay.
Tom.
How about now? Go ahead, Tommy.
For sure. I was just wondering what his favorite artist that he's seen live or concert or band that he's watched either playing with or attending.
That's a good question.
I will say that more recently, one of the bands that I saw that really blew me away was I got to see Meshuggah at Metal Days Festival in Slovenia when we played there this summer.
Ooh,
And it was amazing because I've never been a huge Meshuggah fan, and I've tried to get into them, and then I saw them live, and now I absolutely love them. They just blew my mind live. That's one like more recently that comes to mind. Thinking about live bands that have been crazy, they were absolutely incredible. Seeing them headline in Slovenia as well was like amazing. Yeah.
Sick.
Awesome.
You got any more, Tommy?
One more. Give us one more. Good one.
What's your favorite either country or I guess area that you played in?
That's a good one.
I always love Germany. I always love Germany, but I will say this summer was my first time playing in Spain, and I fell in love with it from the time I got off the plane. Every show we played was absolutely incredible. The fans were amazing, and vibes were just immaculate the entire time we were there. So I'm
That
going
warm-
with Spain.
Yeah, that warm energy in
Nice.
Spain. They're just so beautiful.
Yeah,
And
it was
Alpine, he's from
incredible.
Germany. He's a German drummer, guys. So if you guys like German drummers and maker of awesome things, Alpine. And he shows a lot of the landscape over there too, the castles and stuff, IRLs.
Mhm.
So yeah, I really want to go to Germany too.
All right, Tommy. Thanks again
Germany's
for your
amazing.
time, buddy. Thanks for hopping
Thanks,
in.
Tommy.
Much love, y'all.
Thank you,
Have a
Tommy.
good
Enjoy your
one.
evening.
You too. Thanks for being here and supporting. Awesome. Tommy's gonna be on at the end of the month. We're gonna be with Tommy. Tommy is a drummer from Detroit, and he also has original music, original bands, and stories with festivals he's played in. So that's gonna be fun. Mike Shreds, go up right here. I need to read what Mike Shreds said, that he opened up for your band, Crimson Shadow, and yeah, that's what he said.
I have played shows with both Crimson Shadows and Luthara a few years ago.
A few years ago. All right, we got to
Ooh.
rewind.
What was his band called?
Yeah, what was your band?
Was
I'm
it
sure
the
I know
same one?
Mike.
Blood Moon Collective? Is it the same one? Because Mike Shreds is incredible.
I play in Lumir.
Iomir. Yes.
You remember?
I don't remember ever playing with Iomir, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen them. But my good
Who
friend,
are you?
my good friend Dylan Gowan, that was his project that he started. So yeah, that's awesome, Mike. I'm sure, unless it used to be with a different band. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Gowan is my boy.
Yeah. I know. He's been on my podcast, We're Talkin Drums, as a co-host multiple times, and hopefully we're going to be working together more in the future. I love Dylan so much. He's such an amazingly creative person. Not only he is a drummer as well, but he writes a lot of music as well. So yeah, that was his project that he got a lot of musicians from the Toronto area involved in.
Very nice. So we got a few minutes open for any guest that wants to come in, sub or VIP, into the Discord sub waiting area. You can hop in, ask questions to Cory.
Yeah, Mike, if you still want to try to, do what you got to do to get in the Discord and ask a question, be free to do it.
And let's talk about your podcast that you also do.
Yeah,
we haven't touched up on that.
Absolutely.
So a fellow podcast artist here. So he's a drummer.
Mm-hmm.
You also are a producer, right?
I do produce bands in my spare time, if you will. Actually, a band I produced their EP. It just came out last weekend. They released it. They're called Street Justice. So check those guys out. It's X Street Justice X. It's straight edge vegan hardcore. They're
so cool.
Absolutely amazing, and we're already talking about doing a full length together again. So very excited about that. But for podcasts, we've been doing the podcast for almost 2 years now. It was December 2020 was our first episode we aired, and I just released episode 61. This year's been a little slow. We did 50 episodes in the first year, and then this year's been a little slower. Only done 11 so far, but I'm starting to actually be able to do them in person. So when since everyone's touring now and everything, and they're coming through Toronto, so I actually have 2 podcasts this week that I will be doing. What I'll probably do is I'm going to film them and then release them on YouTube, and I might do a stream on Twitch as well, but it will be pre-recorded. Because it's very hard to try to do them live on Twitch in a remote location as well. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very difficult. But we talk to drummers. It's called We're Talkin Drums. So that's
That's awesome. Well, we love our drummers here, and it does feel like the drum community here just is getting bigger and bigger. And there's always new drummers around, and they're always in each other's streams. So it's going to be awesome to see you do more of them too, and have a lot of the people show up and support.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the drum community here on Twitch has been incredible to me ever since I started streaming, I think back in April. It's just been amazing, and the I found the drum community just in general is so supportive of each other. Like, it's not the same as being a guitar player or a vocalist or anything like that.
So
like
true.
Drummers are a different breed, and
I say
felt
it all
that.
the time.
Yeah. And I felt that as soon as I started doing it on Twitch as well within this community. Like, it was all the same, of like everybody's just supporting each other, and no matter what kind of genres you come from or anything, it doesn't matter. Like, we're all just here playing drums. Like, it's very unified thing. It doesn't matter whether you're a metal drummer or jazz or anything in between. Like, everybody's just supporting each other, so it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And it's great to see, because I've seen so many drummers come in, and it's just like they all just come in. It's like, hey, it's a new guy. Let's go raid him. Let's go support him. Let's go. And it's just, and that's why I do these podcasts too, because I love seeing drummers. And when they come in, it's not the most easiest place for discoverability when it comes to Twitch. That's why it's kind of hard. And when we see like one of our dudes like struggling, or, you know, it's like, oh man, but they're so fucking good. It's like, we just all come together and we just like either raid and now hosts are going away, so that sucks, you know. By tomorrow, the 3rd. So it's like you can't really even put them on the bottom of your list. Like, when you're not live, go check out this drummer, you know. So that's the thing about Twitch, that I feel like that's where they're like, it's poor there, because they're not really promoting as much. But now they have a music category. When we started 3 years ago, they didn't have that. So when we started seeing that, and now there's tags, and before it was only like guitarist or singer-songwriter tags, now we have a drummer's tag. So it's slowly getting there, you know, but I think it's more about community on Twitch and just helping one another and growing together. And we see it a lot, and it's really amazing. And I do feel that, because I've had different communities come in, and everybody's like, oh, but you guys, you know, cater a lot to drummers. I'm like, yeah, because those dudes are like the most down to earth. Like, it's just the chillest guys are always, and girls, because there's some killer girl drummers on Twitch that I've had on the podcast, and, you know, it's just, they're just down, you know. Like, I'll ask them, there's no ego, they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it, you know. When do you want to do it? And then, but like, guitarist like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm interesting. Or sometimes it's like police. I'm like, all right, dude, all right. You don't want, you know, we're just going to hang out and talk about music. It's not that serious.
I think it's because like drummers are in the back all the time, and it's our opportunity
Put
to shine.
me in the front.
Yeah.
Shine the light on me. But meanwhile, they're the main dude, because they're the heart of the song. So, you know, it's something about drummers, I gotta say. And, you know, we definitely love having a bunch of drummers on the podcast. So you exclusively have drummers on your podcast?
Yes. All right. Well, I will say not exclusively. I have had on guitar players who also dabble in drums.
Oh, okay.
So I had on Huron, the guitar player of Battlecross, and he plays in a slew of other bands. But I saw that he was starting to play drums and picked it up pretty quickly over the last couple of years. So I was like, you know what? He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long, long time, and I just honestly wanted to catch up and chat with him. So we made a podcast out of it. That's how the whole thing kind of started, was like, during the pandemic times, I wasn't seeing anyone, and I wanted to catch up with a lot of my old tour friends and everything like that. So I was like, why don't we just record our conversation and put it out there, right? So yeah,
that's basically how a lot of us started streaming, because we were going nuts, not going to venues, concerts, seeing our friends play live.
Yeah.
We're like, well, what are we going to do? Fuck, you know, like, let's just all get together and talk about music and shine a light on each other and perform. So that's how it all started. And it's just made it even better, because now we have a bunch of friends all over the world that, you know, we've showcased, and we just love. Everybody here is just, it's been really fun to discover new musicians that are doing the same thing, but across the world, you know. So, and then
absolutely,
it's just made it that much closer for us to reach more people because of this. So I really love it. So you're in Canada, right?
I am, yes, just outside of Toronto, about an hour north of Toronto. Yes.
So
Southern Ontario.
Yeah, you guys there are just the nicest people. We've had a few drummers from Canada. It's always the nicest crowd. You know, they always come in. They're super nice. So how was it like? You've always lived in Canada?
Yes. Lived, yes. Yeah. I've always lived pretty much in this area around. I lived in Toronto for a little bit, and I lived a little south of here, and a couple of small places, but like this general area my whole life, yeah.
What's the next place that you want to travel to?
That I want to travel to?
Yeah, do you have any plans that's other than touring?
Ooh. Outside, I don't really plan to travel because I plan to tour a lot. But I will say my bucket list place to tour to is Japan.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to go to Japan and play there and experience the lifestyle and everything that Japan has to offer. Because like I've been all over Europe, and I've been to the States and everything, and Japan just seems like a completely different culture outside of all of it. So yeah, that's one of my dream places to travel to, but I don't really travel, so it is like I would have to tour there if I'm gonna go.
Yeah, definitely. I really feel that. Like I wanted to go in 2020, and then everything happened. So I'm like really eager to travel to Japan too. So is there anybody that in mind that you would, well, I guess the best way to say it is a dream tour with what band would you love to tour with? 2 or 3 other bands that you have like really, really the desire to tour with.
If it was Crimson Shadows, our dream tour would definitely be with Dragon Force. And that's a tough one. Who else would be on that bill? But I would say Dragon Force would be a dream tour. I've not only did they influence our music greatly in the early years, but we ended up befriending several members of the band as well. And so we've gotten to known each other quite well over the last like 14 years. So just touring with them would be absolutely incredible at this point. And I would say for Lotharo, touring with Arch Enemy would be our number one. And our tour with Arch Enemy would be absolutely incredible.
I think that would be a perfect pair.
It really would. It might be too close, but I think we'd make it work. Yeah. And like Jeff Loomis is the sweetest dude. I got a chance to briefly talk to him at Vakken this year, and he is just the nicest guy alive. So doing a tour with him would be incredible.
I met him once when he toured with Soilwork, and we opened up for a band I used to play in called Answer Infinity. We opened up for them for one of their shows, and we stayed afterwards. We were like, "Oh my god, these guys are freaking nuts!"
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, I briefly met him outside a venue in Toronto when he was touring, I think, with his solo project.
Yeah, it was a solo.
And he was just like the nicest, down to earth guy. It was a very brief meeting, and then actually got to chat with him and stuff like this year at Vakken, and still. You know, you're talking 8 years later or so, and still just like the nicest guy in the world, and invited us all down to his house in Portland to write some music. It was like,
sick.
What?
That's dope.
Yeah. Super, super awesome guy. Yeah.
I love hearing that. They remain grounded, and then they still remember, you know, like when it was back then, and then they're like just still the same cool dude. That's always,
right? Yeah. There's no ego.
Yeah.
He's one of the best guitar players in the world. No ego at all.
Solid.
Yeah.
All right. So I think this is when I give you the last question. It was on the description, which is really either the hardest or easiest to, describe, because the 12 songs to the soundtrack of your life is basically the 12 songs that you feel connected to during your whole lifetime, whether it's the first song you've ever loved, the first song you fell in love with, or the first song that you heard live. Every song on that list is something that impacted your life or reminds you of your childhood. So it's either really hard or really easy for people to just name.
So 12. You're asking for 12 songs.
12
It's like the album of your life, but everybody else's songs.
You didn't even give me time to prepare for this.
That was on the itinerary.
Was it? Okay,
Yeah.
I guess I didn't read
We
that.
didn't read that part.
It's all good. Well, sometimes some people it's on the spot, and then they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, snap. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, I give it to them, and I'm like, okay, let me tell you, let me warn you before you come on, and they're like, I gotta think about it. But sometimes it's instant, and they're like, actually, I'm glad you didn't tell me because I would have overthought every song.
Yeah, it could literally be like, all right, so this is the song of your childhood that reminded you of a moment in your childhood, or that inspired you to do something, or that was something that got you started with bass or guitar, or or your parents,
So I'm terrible with song titles, to be honest. But like early Blink-182 would definitely be on there. Probably the song "Damn It" by Blink-182 off the Dude Ranch album. That would have to be on there because that was like when I found that band. It was very much so like I went through with my friends group at the time. Anyways, we went through like every genre, every new band that came out. Like we just would go through different genres and nothing would stick with me until I found Blink-182 and that angsty, like almost like aggressive energy, but it was still fun and poppy. So
Yeah.
Blink-182 is definitely that. Damn It, with like the first video I saw, or maybe it was Josie. Either way, that era, that would be on there. Iron Maiden's Wicker Man, off the Brave New World record, because that was one of the first covers I ever learned on bass that my band Swords of Scorn used to do. And then also one of the other covers we did was Child in Time by Deep Purple. And that to this day is one of my favorite songs of all time. So that would definitely be on there.
So right there, I think you got 4 already.
4.
Perfect.
See?
All right,
Good.
we're
Really
a quarter of we're a third the way there.
Yeah.
A third, yes. Black Dahlia Murder, Death Mass Divine. That's that album in general. All the Black Dahlia Murder records really were so influential. And going back to influential drummers, Shannon Lucas, who played on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th Black Dahlia Murder records, was a massive influence. And I actually got to do a small run with him when he was touring with Battlecross.
Oh, wow.
So we actually got to hang out and chill and kind of like become homies a little bit, which was like crazy to me because I idolized him in my early days of playing. So definitely, I'd say Death Mass Divine from Black Dahlia Murders there. Gotta have Gamma Ray. Gotta have a Gamma Ray song. I don't know which one. There's a million of them, but we'll go Lake of Tears because we need a good ballad. You need a nice ballad on an album, right?
Yes.
So the song Lake of Tears by Gamma Ray, one of my favorite ballads of all time. There's in my head, it's all power metal stuff. I know I listen to more
Wow,
than that.
Mr. Metal guy here. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is
I
what
mean,
makes
if
that's what's so
that's
good
what
though.
influences your life, then why not?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, mine
Well-
would be all over the place too, like all over the
Yeah.
place.
I don't want to go back too far because, like, I would say like some Limp Bizkit and stuff.
I mean,
but
that's you. If it's part
that's
of
going
you.
back a little far.
Okay.
It's nostalgic now to me, but yeah. I don't know. We'll stick with metal. Let's
I mean,
go.
you want
like,
to now. You have to.
Right, yeah. Now
Which
I feel
one?
obliged. I need to. All right. If we were going Limp Bizkit, I would say Nookie would be the song. The
Did it
song
all
I
for
would
the
go with.
nookie.
Yeah. Just
You
that
can take
whole
that cookie.
intro, everything. Like it's just it's so sick. And even listening to it now, like it slams so hard. I
Because
don't
it
care who
takes you
are.
there. It takes you there. It
Yeah.
has that
Oh, yeah.
instant like zap. You know.
Well, and the drum production on that record, like you would never hear drums sound like that ever again. Like it's not perfect. It's
raw.
not sampled. It's super raw, but it's well produced. Like you can hear the overtones in the snare. Like you would kill that these days. No producer would ever let that happen, because it's just not nice for the ear, but it worked so well with what they were doing. I love the way the drums sound on that whole record. Okay, so then we got the new metal out of the way. That's the only new metal that I would say that I listen to. Now, where are we? Let's do a little more punk rock. I would say Leftover Crack. It was a huge band for me in high school, between them and Choking Victim as well. So, I can't even think of a song that would be probably like Born to Die by Leftover Crack would be like up there as one of those songs. Yeah, I don't know. I love punk rock a lot.
Yeah,
and like
punk
that,
is so good.
That like really raw like street punk type stuff. I loved it because it was just, I don't know, it was just raw passion and everything going
Rebellion.
into it. Right? Yeah,
so good.
I loved it, and still like a ska atmosphere to that band as well. So it's kind of like happy and fast, but also like fuck you type of attitude to everything. So yeah,
I totally get it.
So what is that 6 now?
I think
Are we halfway?
I think you're at 8.
No,
Am I
you're at
8?
think- yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank God. Okay, we're getting through this. We're getting through this.
We're getting through it.
Gotta go more sword wielding power metal with some Rhapsody. Probably Emerald Sword by Rhapsody would be up there. I love that stupid D&D power metal all about dragons and swords and wizards and all that.
I mean, you're Viking, so that's not. I expected that. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. We'll get into the Viking stuff near the end then.
Okay.
But then talking about wizards, Blind Guardian, we'll have to go ballad number 2 on the record would be the Bard Song by Blind Guardian. That would definitely be in there. It's one of those songs where we'd all get together around the campfire at my place or wherever and on tour, and that song comes on and everybody is singing it together.
Have some mead.
That's it. Like grab a jug of mead and we're all like arm in arm singing that song together.
It's like a shanty.
So yeah, it really is. Like anyone who's a Blind Guardian fan, you know that song and you know every single word to it.
It's been so long since I heard of Blind Guardian. I used to listen to them growing up for a couple of albums. I wasn't like too deep into them. It was like them and then like Iced Earth. I guess because like some of the members of them was in Iced Earth. So, but then it was like off and on.
They had Demons and Wizards with Hansi from Blind Guardian and John Schaefer, who apparently has gone missing, but we don't need to talk about that.
Oh no.
All right.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. Iced Earth will not be in my top 12. I'll say that much, okay? Dragon Force, Fury of the Storm. That's in there. 150% sure of that one. I already got an Iron Maiden.
One more.
That's good.
And they stream too. Dragon Force streams all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Herman Lee is all about it.
Yeah.
One more. Oh my God.
One more song.
Okay. I'll go we won't necessarily go Viking then with it, and I'll go Arch Enemy, First Deadly Sin. I believe is the song name off the Wages of Sin record. That is like my all-time favorite Arch Enemy song. And like that was I didn't learn it back in the day, but like that was one of the ones where like the drums hit so hard that I was like, that influenced everything about what I want to do, as far as like the way the drums drive the song. So
So
Yeah.
what
There we
about
go.
what about that Viking thing that you were talking about?
Yeah. Well, I love the band as honorable mentions. The band Tyr, the Amon Amarth, Korpiklani. There's lots of more Swedish Finnish bands. Ensiferum was a huge band in my early teens that influenced my playing and everything as well. So
Sick.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Flash Run, top 5 bands of all time.
Damn. Iron Maiden, Black Dahlia Murder. I've tried to do this in my head a million times, and those are the only
That's
two
so
that
hard.
stick
It's
around.
5 though. It's not 3. It's 5.
I know. I only got 2 so far, though.
A punk rock band.
A punk band, Pennywise. I love Pennywise.
Power metal band.
Yeah, power metal.
A power metal. We'll go Blind Guardian. We'll go Blind Guardian. All right, we'll do that, and then
Unconventional band that you like or artist.
an artist. All right,
That
I'll
nobody
throw the
thinks you would
artist.
like, but you.
Right now, no. All right. This one isn't necessarily metal, but they're still aggressive, and I absolutely love them right now. And it's they're called the Bridge City Sinners.
The Bridge City Sinners.
Yes, and they are a satanic folk punk band.
Oh damn!
Nice.
So-
That's
highly,
that's interesting.
highly recommend them.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
yeah, they are absolutely incredible, and they've canceled their Canadian dates twice in the last couple years,
Oh,
and
why?
I can't. The tours just couldn't happen because of the everything.
The
that
whole
happened.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, all that stuff. So they couldn't make it to Canada, but I'm hoping they will soon. We were both in Europe at the same time too, and they were on one side as I'm touring this way, and they were going that way.
So you just missed it.
Damn it. Yeah.
I think
Cannot
God
wait
had
to see
something
them,
to do
though.
with that.
Yeah. We'll,
Not
we'll
today,
come together at
Satan.
some
Not
point.
today. Oh God. What are your sticks of choice?
I love my Los Cabos drumsticks. I am currently playing the White Hickory 2B model by Los Cabos. I also love the White Hickory Rock and the White Hickory 5Bs as well.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yeah, I play all kinds of different ones, but always Los Cabos drumsticks. I've been playing with Los Cabos for the last 9 years. 9 years I've been a Los Cabos drumsticks artist. So love
Oh,
them.
wow.
Love the team they have there. It's amazing. They've been overly supportive. So it's been great.
Sign. What's your star sign?
I am a Capricorn.
Capricorn. Oh, no wonder. Capricorns are amazing drummers. The wood. It's the wood element.
Oh, hey.
Top 3 horror flicks.
Horror flicks.
I mean, we are in October, so what should we be watching?
That is true. I always like Halloween. Like the original Halloween, and then also I love the first Rob Zombie one.
Oh,
That-
the
Was that
House
the
of
House of
Corpse.
Thousand
Corpus.
Corpse?
Yeah, that one, right? No.
No. I love that as well. I do love. I would say second is Devil's Rejects. But Rob Zombie actually directed a Halloween movie.
Oh,
It was
right,
probably
right.
about 10 years ago, and then they did a sequel to that as well. But it was more going on the backstory. So really growing up and how he became who he was and
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah,
right.
that was-
So.
That was intense.
I love, so those two horror movies. I don't watch a lot of horror movies. So more like action or comedy.
All right,
to
what's
be
your favorite
honest.
funny movie then? That makes you laugh. That's stupid funny.
Step Brothers.
Dude, Step Brothers, it is fantastic. But it's a movie with David Cross and Bob Odenkirk called Run, Ronnie, Run.
Oh.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
We gotta watch that.
And I think you can still find it on YouTube. The whole movie on YouTube.
Okay.
So, yeah. But it is hilarious if you're into the type of comedy that it is. So
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Well,
Yeah.
we had a blast having you on here, Cory.
We really did.
Oh, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys.
I'm sure we could have gone another like 5 more hours if we really wanted, but
I mean, he's so easy and down to earth to talk to. We could just talk about so many things. It was so easy with Cory because he's just chill like that. He's awesome. So tell us, when is the next time we can catch you live on your channel, and when is your next gig, if you have one, and next music project?
My band Letharo has shows this coming Friday in Guelph, Ontario at Onyx Lounge, and on Saturday in Kingston, Ontario with the Casualties. And then Crimson Shadows has a show on October 15th at Lee's Palace in Toronto with fellow Twitch streamers, Lords of the Trident. We're bringing them out to Toronto to play, so it's gonna be hella fun. Tickets are on sale, so you can find that. This week I will be streaming on Wednesday. Will probably be the next day. You know what? I'm gonna do a stream tomorrow.
Yes.
Monday I'm gonna do one bright and early. We're gonna do a morning stream.
Sweet. Now I got something to tune into while I'm at work.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. What
Hell
time?
Yeah,
what
let's
time?
do it. We'll do 11 a.m.
All right, 11 a.m. guys.
We're going to be doing it. It's going to be great. And then I will be on Wednesday as well. I'll be doing a stream midday. I like the midday streams. That way the European audience can join in as well. And it gives you guys, everyone in North America, something to do during work hours.
Yeah,
So,
lunchtime.
yeah. It is funny how many people tune in just while they're at work.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Like, it
true.
is
It's like when it's
insane.
so boring, or it's like it's because the phone is right next to us, or like even me when I'm cooking and doing something just
Put
at home.
lurk.
Yeah, I'm like lurking. Then sometimes I'm like I chime in, but I'm in there. You know what I mean? So it's just
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
so many chances to tune in.
Do you guys ever play in New York?
I mean, when are you coming? Because we're here. We're waiting for you, baby.
I will say we will be there next year. That's all I can say.
Okay. All right.
Exclusive.
I feel like I've been tapping into these realms of do not access lately.
Just found out here, guys, on YenYorkCity Live.
Nothing is announced, but there is plans to play in New York.
Awesome.
That's
So
all I'll say.
We'll keep an eye out, and then we
Heck
definitely
yeah.
will come out and check you guys out when you're in the area. So,
That's gonna be
Excellent,
amazing.
excellent. Yes.
I'm excited.
Yes.
well, Cory, thanks again for your time, man. It was awesome. I learned a
Thank
lot.
you guys. Oh.
And when's the next podcast?
Erase all that. Erase all that for me. You don't need-
Yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
Next podcast will hopefully be out on Wednesday, but I also, if you are a We're Talkin Drums podcast Patreon member, you will get them. You'll get them Wednesday, and then the actual podcast will come out Friday. So if
okay.
all goes well, it is a very, very busy week. And so I'm going to hopefully have enough time to get one out this week. If not, it'll be next Monday. But yeah, I just released a brand new one on Friday, though. So you can check that out with Josine Orta from Fit for an Autopsy. We had about a 2-hour chat. So if you're
That's
bored,
perfect.
Very
Yeah.
sick.
there you go. 2 hours, kill them real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So Cory, it was a pleasure. You're amazing drummer.
Thank
Awesome
you.
person. Guys, go give him a follow. Go give his socials a follow. He's going to give us one last song to end this beautiful podcast. And again, thank you so much, Cory. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you guys. This has been a blast. And this last song will be the one of my favorites to play by Lotharo, and this is Hopeless Abandonment.
Oh, beautiful. All right.
Stick
Okay.
around for the raid, everyone.
Yeah, let's go show some love to the next awesome streamer musician. Thanks again, Cory. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this last one.